Stretch for them because you know Bonds won't get anything to swing at.
Richie's finally healthy again. He had that surgery on his right elbow. He just couldn't extend, couldn't get that top hand over. Well, it looks like he can now. That ball was smoked.
Renteria smoked on his first trip, but he lined out deep to center field. But still, over his last 13 at bats, including that one, he has 6 hits. Now, he's playing with a bit of a sore back. He was questionable as to whether he'd be able to play, but he had a good round of batting practice. That back loosened up. The trainers worked on him. And the way Edgar is swinging the bat, the way he's playing this year, he doesn't want to miss any trips to home plate. 3-1.
Everybody wants to be on this field tonight, if tonight's the night where they clinch. You get to come running in, you jump on people, you're on posters.
Foul back out of play. And that's every player's dream. I mean, to be either on a media guide or in one of those posters at the front page of the newspaper, celebrating a championship of some kind, jumping on somebody. And they have the opportunity to do that tonight. And there is champagne in the Cardinal clubhouse, and they will pop those corks should they wrap it up against the Astros this evening.
You know, I was thinking, you're talking about those posters. I don't know where this came from, but my good buddy Charles Barkley, one time when Michael Jordan went up to slam dunk a basketball, he took off running. I said, what were you doing? How come you didn't stay there? Get a charge. He said, I'm not going to be at the bottom of one of his Nike posters.
3-2, the bat just shatters. Little blooper. That might be a hit, and it will be a base hit. Biggio had no chance at it. He was lucky that he picked up the baseball and not a splinter. I mean, that bat went everywhere. An infield single for Edgar.
You know, they say things have a way of evening themselves out in baseball. Well, he deserved a hit the way he hit the ball the first time up. Probably doesn't deserve one here. For an infielder, I mean, that's got to be a lot like an outfielder waiting on a baseball to come out of the sun. You see everything going everywhere. Well, which is the part that I'm supposed to deal with? You don't want to get involved with any of the other things that are coming in your direction. By the time Biggio got there, it was too late.
And for Pete Monroe, the pitcher, a very helpless feeling as it floated tantalizingly over his head. Foul ball by Matheny. Mike is 0 for 1, and Renteria was running on that pitch. And so Tony La Russa is going to push it here. It's a .237 hitter with 3 homers.
You only manage when you have to. You know, and there's a situation where there aren't a lot of RBIs. The pitcher coming up next, probably all Woody can do tonight, is laid out a bunt. At least that's the way it looked in his first at bat. Getting to third base with 1 out, maybe you put on the squeeze, and when you get some production out of your pitcher, that might be the only way to do it.
Renteria always a threat to steal the base. And so far this season, he has done it 20 times. He's been caught on 7 occasions. Short lead, he's running. Ground ball, that's going to get through for a base hit. Renteria around second, he's into third. And so if you're thinking squeeze, and Rick Sutcliffe certainly was, look out. Woody Williams coming up with runners on the corners and only 1 out.
You know, we kind of had that figured just because of the last at bat by Woody Williams, but how about Renteria running the bases here? Look at him. I mean, he is real tentative. Watch him make the turn there. I mean, just real slow. Now he's down there at third base, really stretching that back out. Take a look at him here. I mean, that's not the effort you normally see out of him.
No, sir.
I mean, no thoughts of getting to home, where a lot of times he'd have been taking a wide turn, putting pressure on them. He's hurting right now.
Yeah, that back is barking at him. That is not what the Cardinals need this late in the season.
And, you know, I changed my mind now. I'm not even thinking suicide squeeze here. I just think let Woody get down to sacrifice and see if Bina can add to those 52 RBIs he has this year.
Well, Williams clearly intent on bunting. Nelson Cruz is up in the Astro bullpen. That's 7 hits now for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You know, the way both of the first 2 innings ended for Peter Monroe were lineouts to the center fielder.
But a pitch out, that's what they were thinking. They were thinking of squeeze play.
When he's healthy, I mean, the options are just endless with Woody Williams at the plate and Tony La Russa managing. But he's not healthy right now. And you let him take one swing of the bat and he pulls that rib cage again. That's a huge blow going into that 5-game series in a divisional playoff.
Yeah, you may not get him back. They have the suicide squeeze on. It's popped up. Ausmus can't get it. It's into the screen anyway. They had the play on. Just couldn't get it down, and the count's 1-1.
How many times in batting practice are you able to bunt that ball? And pitchers do a lot of bunting. How about Ausmus's effort? He knows his pitcher's in trouble. But all of a sudden, it's time. You know, you see it from the coach, and immediately, I know it happened to me. Your heart starts pumping a little harder, your hands get a little sweatier, and you don't get the bunt down on a pitch that you really should have.
Would they do it 2 times in a row?
I know most fans don't like it, but right now, if I was Monroe, I'd do that little stupid third to first thing and try to see if they tip their hand.
Well, if it's ever going to work.
Right now.
And it's never worked in the history of mankind, but
it has too.
I know, but if it's ever going to work, it's going to work now if they have a suicide on it. 2 on, 1 out. He was squaring around, showing the bunt.
Some people were teasing me, Dusty Baker, that he saw me work that move more successfully than anybody else. And I don't know who was. Somebody else said, yeah, that's because he had guys at first and third more often than anybody.
He gets the bunt down, play at the plate, the tag, and to get Renteria. Williams becomes the runner at first. 2 on, 2 out, and the play backfires on that play.
Well, and I think it's because of a back. Because on the suicide squeeze, if the batter gets the ball down, you're supposed to have a big enough jump that you score. Look how deep and close to the third base bag Renteria was. He just simply wasn't ready to go on that. That's all you got to do is, as a hitter on the suicide squeeze, get it down. The runner is supposed to take it from there, and I just physically right now Renteria is not able to do that.
The question is, they leave him in the ball game.
He's not going to come on.
Yeah. He doesn't want to. He wanted to play very much tonight. Meany the batter. Ground ball down to get it back. Well, a nice play. Out number 3. So despite the 2 hits, the Cardinals cannot score. And the championship night for the St. Louis Cardinals, trying to clinch the Central Division title. They lead Houston 4-1. Top half of the 4th inning. Rick Sutcliffe, Dave O'Brien, our man in the booth, Peter Pasquarelli, the indispensable Pasquarelli. 7 hits for St. Louis. The Astros, however, got their first run in the 3rd inning on an RBI base hit from Brian Hunter. Lance Berkman leading off this frame. And in doing so, they touched up Woody Williams for a run for the first time in 19 2/3 frames.
Well, because of their defense back there in the bottom of the 3rd against the Cardinals and the heart of the lineup up, they got a chance to get back in this thing.
Well, Berkman has started and contributed to a good many rallies this season, as you can tell by his 125 RBIs. He had 29 home runs by the All-Star break this summer. In fact, 10 of them came in Houston's first 20 games. He joined the ranks of Reggie Jackson and Babe Ruth in the quickest to 10 home runs to start a season. Fouled off down the left field line out of play.
You know, partner, right there with Albert Pujols. What a great guy Berkman is. Last Friday we were in Houston doing the game, talking to him before the game started. Out there in the backyard as a 6-year-old kid, the old maple tree, he said, with the tire hung up, swinging his dad's bat. You know, it just leads me to believe baseball's in great shape with the young guys that are taking it over.
Swing and a miss. He took a cut. And he fans for the out. fun-loving guy, but he got eaten up here.
Well, he had a 2-0 count and he had a 3-1 count. Couldn't do anything with it. Why? Take a look at the location of that 3-2 fastball. I mean, that's Picasso out there on the mound, not Woody Williams.
That was Picasso's nickname, though, for his friends and family. Well, they called him Woody, didn't they? Check that out. Up the middle it goes. Bagwell with a base hit. He really hits Woody Williams well. 1 for 2 tonight.
Now we're going to have to go to our buddy Peter Pasquarelli for that one.
Peter would know.
I don't know. I know one thing. Bagwell has done this many, many times. Just look at the intensity on his face. You can never tell if his team is up or behind. That's one of those where you check for leaks, partner. Oh, okay. How in the world did that miss me?
The Bagwell aboard. He's had a very good month of September.
You know who he gives the credit to? Are the trainers. And the therapy that he goes through before the game, getting that shoulder active to where he can do something as far as his offense is concerned.
Getting about 370 for the month. Darrell Ward, the hitter, he's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base.
Another guy that could hit is Darrell Ward's dad, former All-Star Gary Ward, Minnesota, one of the teams he played for.
Well, the Cardinals already know it. Ward beat St. Louis with a walk-off home run back on April the 7th. But despite his size, 6'2", about 240 pounds, he hasn't hit as many home runs as they expected. 3 years ago, between the minor leagues and the Astros, he belted 36, and they really thought they were onto something. He is a first baseman playing the outfield these days. He's in left field.
And that 240 pounds is a problem. There aren't many outfielders that are that big. Take a look at the production there, and remember, those are in limited at-bats.
Ground ball diving and missing Martinez, but Vina has it from the outfield. Throws back to first, not in time with a double play. And Fernando Vina covered the ground, got to it on the short outfield grass, and while leaning back under strike to Renteria. The fans here in St. Louis appreciate that play. 2 gone.
You know who else they should applaud? That's a guy for Tony La Russa, normally Tony, that sets up their infield defense. Look at where Vina started. How about the effort from Tino? But he could not have gotten to that ball had he not been playing the hitter to pull. Nobody coordinates their defense with their pitching plan any better than Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan do. They knew where Woody was going to pitch Ward right there. Because of that, you don't have the second baseman close to second base. Play him in the hole where he can get to that ball. What an almost turn that was.
Loretta takes a strike, and already tonight, we're only in the 4th inning. But every Cardinal infielder except for Tino Martinez has made a Gold Glove kind of a play, starting with Scott Rowland on the very first play of the game.
Well, and Tino made a nice tag on Biggio in the 1st inning.
They did. Having to leave the bag. That one got by Rowland, and you got to hit it some kind of hard to do that. That moves Ward up to second base. 2 on, 2 out on a single by Loretta. He's hit the ball hard twice tonight.
Well, on the first play of the game by Brian Hunter, the height and the wingspan, as far as the length of his arm is concerned, created the opportunity to make that play. His height on that play is what kept him from getting to that ball. His glove just starts too high. Take a look at it. He just couldn't quite get it to the ground in time. He reacted quick enough, but he just had too far to go.
Are they going to sign him to a long-term contract in St. Louis?
I think it'd be a mistake, not only on their part, but his part, if he didn't stay here.
Obviously, they want very much to do that.
It's just exactly like what happened with Jim Edmonds. I mean, he wasn't a popular guy with the fans. He wasn't a popular guy with his teammates in Anaheim. He comes here, and they love him.
Jeff Blum, the batter, first and second, 2 away. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning.
I just feel sorry for the Phillies. Think about the loss of Scott Rowland. How about them losing J.D. Drew, too?
Yeah, he refused to sign with Philadelphia. As did Scott Rowland. Throw down to second base. The tag is safe. Renteria came in behind Ward, and Matheny put it right over the top of second base. You can't make that play better than that, even though it did not merit an out.
They have been within a split second now twice of ending this inning by getting Darryl Ward out. Renteria almost doubled him up. That didn't happen. Matheny almost threw him out there, but that didn't happen either.
Final tapped. Now 2-2 on Blum. He was acquired back during the days of spring training from Montreal, and Mike Matheny won the Gold Glove 2 years ago. Brad Ausmus catching tonight for Houston, won it last year.
And Matheny hasn't slipped any defensively. His playing time has just gone down because of DeFelice, the job that he's done.
See Renteria still stretching out there. Stung foul by Blum, although he hit it a deep shot down the right field line, and Edgar's still trying to work it out.
You know, finishing that thought on how Darryl Ward almost ended the inning. I mean, that's a tying run at home plate. With all of the things that have gone on against the Houston Astros, and this guy's a pretty good hitter from this side of the plate. 284 on the year, but over 300 left-handed.
And a very hot hitter, but he pops it up, and Renteria doesn't have to range far for that play. So in the fourth inning, no runs, a couple of hits. Williams strands 2 Houston Astros. He's up by 3.
Log on to ESPN.com and play Six Pack, presented by Miller Lite.
Women blame it on hormones, diet, or stress.
Men on their age, their dads.
But while men and women deal with hereditary hair loss differently, something works for both. Rogaine.
In fact, nothing's been proven to regrow hair better.
And the sooner you start, the better your chance of success.
So start early. For men,
For women,
Rogaine works.
the sooner, the better.
Never throw away anything you can use to express yourself, including your unused minutes. Rollover, only from Singular.
Frequent persistent heartburn 2 or more days a week despite treatment and diet change may be acid reflux disease.
You never know when to expect it.
The burn can stop you in your tracks.
You worry about the risk of long-term problems.
I got help. Learn to handle the disease and the risks in ways that make sense for me.
Call this number now for information and a free kit from Prevacid, a handbook on managing acid reflux disease and its risks, a risk alert profiler, a guide to making the most of your next doctor visit, and a 7-day free trial certificate to use if your doctor decides Prevacid is right for you. Prevacid fights acid reflux disease 3 ways. It beats the burn, helps heal the damage, and best of all, staying on Prevacid if prescribed can stop the damage from coming back. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. So if you want the power to manage the risks, heal the damage, and stay healed, call now for your free kit.
Woody Williams has a 4-1 lead and some muck in those spikes. Join ABC Sports tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 Eastern when new head coach Ty Willingham leads undefeated and number 12 ranked Notre Dame against the Spartans of Michigan State. Some of you may see Virginia Tech at Texas A&M, BYU at Georgia Tech, or Colorado at UCLA. That's tomorrow at 3:30 on ABC, the class of college football. Notre Dame off to a 3-0 start. The last time they were 4-0, Rick, 1993.
Well, that's great for college football, isn't it? A lot of people follow that university.
They started 0-3 last year. Ty Willingham telling his troops who wants to be a star. He gets them in a huddle and says, who wants to be a star today? Really challenges them.
A star, huh?
Yeah.
You know, if you look in the dictionary, you know what the definition of the word star is?
I just hope you'll tell me. It's grounded a deep short. Nice ranging play. Loretta throwing off line, and it's not in time to get it. But Loretta with a fine effort. A base hit for Eli Marrero, his 3rd single tonight. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, and he has used his legs the first 2 times to score runs. He does it again here, taking what could have been a star play away from Mark Loretta. A versatile type guy. He's played a lot of third base here. Shows you he can easily play shortstop as well.
What is the dictionary version of a star? What is it?
It's a self-contained massive gas. And that's what he wants his players to be?
Well,
okay,
maybe not technically.
There's other definitions.
There are many other definitions. Down and in for a ball on Jim Edmonds. He is grounded out and walked.
You know, Woody Williams gave me a cup of coffee tonight. I'm thinking it's a little stronger than most of them that I had. I don't know where that came from.
Drinking coffee with Woody Williams before the game, and you know he's got to go out and pitch. You got to figure, you know, it's double caffeinated. Espresso maybe. Double espresso. That'll get you going.
Well, he has gotten his team going, and they're trying to get even more runs put up on that board here in the fourth inning.
4 runs on 8 hits for the Cardinals. 1 across on 4 hits for Houston. Woody Williams, a guy who has not lost the last 2 years while pitching in September. Perfect 7-0.
He's only lost 1 time this year when pitching in night games. 7-1. Overall, we know that he's 2-3 in day games. I think the biggest reason for that is his changeup. You just see the rotation on a baseball better in afternoon ball games. So
Either that or they're not making that coffee during those day games. Pretty simple. It's either the changeup or the Java. 1-1 hammer to the outside corner. Edmonds really didn't like it too much. Ed Rapuano said it was there. 1-2.
Well, he knows. All Edmonds has to do is get on base because Monroe has had absolutely no luck getting the next guy, Albert Pujols, out. A generous corner and possibly Brad Ausmus working again.
And the man on deck, Albert Pujols, has walked, and he's also singled in 2 runs with a base hit in the second.
He is the man, too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The runner goes. Swing and a foul tip to the catcher's mitt for strike 3. And Marrero safely into second base. Ausmus gripped it, but could not come up firing, and so Edmonds strikes out.
Yeah, you got to get the out first. Look at him. He's set. Watch how quick his feet get into position. Look at the line. How they were already pointed at the direction he was going to make that throw. He just couldn't make the exchange from glove to bare hand to get rid of it.
So it's the 14th steal this year by Eli Marrero, a former catcher. Occasionally get behind there wearing the tools of ignorance. But he's in the outfield, and they want to preserve those legs of his because he can run well. Albert Pujols, a walk and a 2-run single. He's driven in 121 runs.
There's only one reason he's getting pitched to here, and that was a trade that was made in July to bring Scott Rowland over.
And that's Scott Rowland with 103 RBIs himself.
And I'm not taking anything away from Polanco. He's a great player, but you have a presence in your lineup. That's the man that created it. Once again, Walt Jocketty pulling that midsummer magic.
Well, he did it last summer with Woody Williams, who was so brilliant down the stretch after the trade from San Diego.
Well, he did it before, the year before, with Will Clark. What a great year Will had. And then what was that guy from Oakland that played first base for?
Max something. McGuire. That was it.
Get Peter on that. He'll come up with that name.
He's still working on Picasso's nickname. He tells me it's Duke. And of course Chuck Finley this year as well, making an impact in the starting rotation. So one thing about the St. Louis Cardinals, they don't sit around waiting to get beat by somebody. They go out and win. 5-4 with St. Louis as opposed to 4-11 with the Indians. So it's done Chuck Finley a lot of good too. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pujols.
I was asking a lot of the players today if and when they win a division, what the rotation will be. Well, it starts with Matt Morris. But right now, most of them say it's a coin toss. Half of them saying Woody Williams in game 2 as it was last year. The other half saying Finley. That tells you how far he's come this year.
Marrero at second with one away. Monroe being very, very careful with Albert Pujols. It's 2-2. Pujols a .333 hitter since the All-Star break. Overall 336 with men in scoring position. He swings and misses for strike 3. So on a rare occasion, Pujols cannot pick up the RBI. He actually strikes out.
We're learning a lot about Peter Monroe right now and what type of competitor he is. He's made some adjustments as far as his pitch selection is concerned. There's another changeup. Pujols once again out in front of it. And that was the key to him back in the first inning when he was struggling. He struck out Scott Rowland, and it all came about by his pitching coach, Bert Hooten, saying, hey, that changeup, we need to see more of that.
Well, he is Fan Edmonds and Pujols back to back. That one ripped to the left by Rowland. Here comes Ward. It falls in for a base hit. Marrero will come on in to score, and that makes it 5-1 St. Louis. So Monroe able to get the 3 and 4 hitters. He can't get the 5 guy. And Scott Rowland drives in his 104th run in 2002.
Well, he might have gotten that guy, except once again, that's a first baseman playing left field. I thought this ball was going to hook back right to Darrell Ward, but you can just see not a real good first step and not even close to making that play. That's not his fault. He's just simply out of position right now, doing the best he can. Well, we're seeing the best come out of Scott Rowland that we have ever seen.
He knocks home Marrero. Tino Martinez fouls one right back to net. Tino Martinez really hitting the ball well in his last 41 games. He's batting .303. He's added an RBI single tonight. He hit his 10th career grand slam on Tuesday. That was against Colorado at Coors Field. Then he hit his 20th home run of the season on Wednesday. A lot of pitches for Monroe.
I see the same thing with Tino. Not quite to the level of Sean Green, but that happened with Sean. Came from the American League, National League. The first half of the year he was constantly hitting with 2 strikes, but he had to take a lot of pitches to learn the release points and the type of pitches that the National League had. That happened with Tino. He struggled. He was always behind the first half. Right now he's hitting over 290 here in the month of September. It's getting better, and I would imagine it will continue to do that for him.
But you know this about Tino Martinez, come playoff time, he's not going to be nervous. Not with all those championship rings that he's wearing. Postseason play, a walk in the park for Tino. A pitch out, the runner holds, and the count 1-2. Batting average wise, a much better second half for him.
And it's not over. That home run total will go up here in the last week or so.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out, and Pete Monroe winds up striking out the side. He does give up a run. It is 5-1 St. Louis. Such soapbox coming your way when we come back at Busch.
This fall, prepare for the most anticipated family reunion of the year.
Dad, Mom's alive.
After 25 years,
this woman is not to be trusted.
Mother and daughter will meet again.
You must have known that this day would come.
Can't you feel my heart?
The family reunion you can't miss. Alias season premiere Sunday, September 29th on ABC.
At Scottrade, we're all about value. The value of 150 branch offices and each Scottrade customer being able to call their personal broker instead of a call center. The value of free streaming quotes and charts with integrated trading. Or the value of trading online for just $7. In activity fees, Scottrade doesn't have any. No pressure to trade. Call 1-800-SCOTTRADE or visit us at scottrade.com. Because at Scottrade, we're all about value.
Playing this month on Dish on Demand.
Stay out of my way and I won't shoot you. Better watch your mouth. What are you gonna do? Wrap me up in caution tape?
Showtime.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the new guy.
The new guy.
Another highway cup? What are you guys, multiplying?
Super Troopers. Take a break from routine TV. Order a pay-per-view movie from Dish on Demand.
Most of us saw what happened yesterday in Chicago with Kansas City Royals first base coach Tom Gamboa. It was scary. Two people came from out of nowhere and basically just attacked him. Fortunately, his teammates were able to get there to rescue him. We know that the authorities will do what is expected out of them. They will be punished to the most. But a couple of things came to mind to me. First of all, unfortunately, it's happened before. It happened with Billy Spires as a member of these Astros in Milwaukee. It happened in tennis with Monica Seles. Unfortunately, it's probably going to happen again. The solution? Well, I read in the paper today where what they say is they're going to maybe get the fans further away from the field. That's not the solution. What came to mind to me right there during that situation was the fact, you know what, right now with the strike and everything over is a time where baseball needs to get the players closer to the fans. No more talk of strike, no more talk of revenue sharing. Get to know the great stories about these great players that are out there. That's why we do what we do by broadcasting, because there are so many good stories in this game.
And Woody Williams and the St. Louis Cardinals among those stories and what they have overcome this season. And on the verge of winning the division, they can do it tonight. Pretty amazing stuff, despite all the tragedy and the loss of great longtime broadcaster, Hall of Famer Jack Buck. Still not the same coming to St. Louis without getting a Jack Buck handshake. And how you doing, kid? If you're 65 years old, it's a how you doing, kid? Just a great fella. Wonderful broadcaster. Three balls, 2 strikes again.
What a sense of humor he had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember in Las Vegas him roasting Harry Carey. And they had all the professional comedians there to do it. And none of them were near as funny as Jack was.
Jack Buck was the best after-dinner speaker
here
that I think any of us have ever heard. A broken bat bloop shot. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And Ausmus has his second hit tonight.
You know, I heard a great story today about Darryl Kyle, Matt Morris, and Dave Veers telling me that, you know, there was a house here they had to sell. And all of the players went over and helped with moving the furniture out. They just wanted to sell it as is. But Darryl's wife, Flynn, told all of the players, if there's anything you want, go ahead and take it. Well, Matt Morris wanted the desk that Darryl Kyle was so proud of. And he took it to the new house that he built, and he will always have that. Every time he sits down at that desk, he's going to be reminded of Darryl. And he wants that.
This is Alan Zinter pinch hitting for Pete Monroe, the starter for the Astros, and he takes ball 1.
Darryl Kyle did something that I don't know if anybody else could have done. He got Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell to miss a game. They left their team to come here and be part of the ceremonies the Cardinals put on for Darryl here at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 guys, former Darryl Kyle teammates, who like 3 or 4 times have played in every single game at the same time, the same season.
You know, I talked to Bagwell about 2 weeks after it happened, and he said, Sut, I think about him every day. Darryl was one of his closest friends. And you know that in the back of Jeff's mind, it doesn't show on the field or the numbers that he's putting up, but he knows what these St. Louis Cardinals are playing for. It's more than the National League Central. It's for Darryl Kyle. Darryl, in the last 2 years, has started 4 postseason games for Tony La Russa.
2-2 on Zinter. Brian Hunter up next. You're talking about a young man in the prime of his life and lost in the middle of a baseball season, shaking this entire community, shaking baseball to the core. And that was inside his locker, which remains as it was, with his jersey hung. You saw the plaque there dedicated to Darryl Kyle and his family by the St. Louis Cardinals and his teammates.
Just so unexpected. I mean, there's not a better friend, a better family man, a better teammate on earth to him. He was accountable. He made every single start. And in fact, the way it worked out, his last start was the one that put these Cardinals in first place.
And tonight, you have to believe, should they win the division, or whenever they win it, be it tomorrow night or sometime later on in the week, there's going to be a lot of extra emotion spilling over. A high fly deep to right, way down into the corner, and into the upper deck. A foul ball by Zinter. He hit it a mile, but foul, and the count 3-2.
Wait a minute now. That's Big Mac territory there. Wow.
A very noisy strike into the upper deck.
We need to have a big Zinter land. Huh? We got a Big Mac land.
Well, maybe in Houston. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. So after the 900-foot foul, Woody Williams comes back and whiffs him. And there's one away. Now to the top of the order, and Brian Hunter.
You know, I got attacked one time on the field.
You did?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Morgana. And I was mad the authorities pulled her off of me.
Morgana, the kissing bandit. Fly to deep left field. This one has a chance. Pulls all the way back to the fence, and she's gone. That's a 2-run homer for Brian Hunter, and he has been their offense tonight. His 3rd home run of the season give him 3 RBIs in the game. And this one by no means is over. A 2-run shot here off of Woody Williams in the 5th inning.
Boy, that is a shock right there. You don't expect this kind of power out of Brian Hunter. He's been an outstanding pickup for them. I mean, he's played terrific in center field. We've seen him tonight run down a couple of balls. The average is there. He's hit well with runners in scoring position in September, but not with that kind of power.
Yeah, that's exactly what the look on Woody Williams' face indicated. He did not expect it. There was kind of a smirk on his face, but Hunter takes him out of the park. Biggio fouls one away. Craig tonight 0 for 2. So the Astros have tightened it up, as they attempted to do in the waning days of September in the division race. Again fouled off by the second baseman. A win tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals, and they effectively end the season of the Astros. They will clinch the Central Division title. Breaking ball away, 2-2. One out, bases are empty, and it's inside. So full count.
First home run for Brian Hunter in his last 164 at bats.
But it was not a cheap one. I mean, that didn't scrape the fence on the way down. And there have been a couple of major swings in this inning. One on the foul by Alan Zinter. And the home run into the bullpen by Hunter.
Yeah, and that last ball by Biggio hit a long ways, and the guy in the on-deck circle can hit it even further than the guys we've mentioned.
And that's Lance Berkman, a chopper, but foul. Woody Williams, since coming off of the disabled list in late August, he had one bad start right after he came off the DL because of that rib cage injury, the strained rib cage. But since then, he's 3-0 with an ERA of 0.50. Fouled back by Biggio again. And tonight he's been touched up for 3 runs.
I think in one way that might help Tony La Russa make a decision. It was going to be tough to get Woody out of this ball game with the lead, pitching well, and the clinching game being possible. I'd be really surprised if Woody's due up third in the bottom of the 5th inning if his night wasn't over, if he's able to get through the top part of this 5th inning. .81 pitches so far.
Just the one walk. He's always in the strike zone. The 3-2 on the inside corner for a called strike 3. He catches Biggio looking. Caught him trying to eke out ball 4 there. They're 2 away.
Boy, you don't see Craig Biggio turn and argue very often. Let's take one more look at it. Wow. I mean, I don't know how you make that call. First of all, knowing where the ball was supposed to be thrown. I mean, it doesn't matter where the catcher's sitting, but that ball clearly looked to be in off the plate, and without the new high strike being enforced, that looked like ball 4 to me.
2 down for Berkman, looking for his first hit of the game. He's grounded a short and struck out. And so at least for the moment, his batting average has dipped below 300, 299. He lifts a foul, and now the Cruz on back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Berkman, a switch hitter.
Well, he just started this season off fast and stayed there. I mean, there's just been nothing about this year that hasn't gone well for Lance. Just a complete hitter now. They're hitting coach Harry Spillman says that incredible how for a young hitter he stays out of that pull mode.
And yet look at the way they play him on the infield, playing strictly to pull. That's Renteria, the shortstop, behind second. You wouldn't shift on him like this, would you?
No, I wouldn't, because I would be going hard and down and away in a situation like this. Woody's pitching to the plan, which is off-speed stuff and fastballs in. Well, you've got the tie and run in the on-deck circle. You got 2 outs and nobody on. I take my chances on that fastball down and away. But to throw it in this situation defeats the purpose of what you've done with your infield.
You walked him. And so that's going to bring up Jeff Bagwell. He had 30 homers and 95 RBIs, representing the tying run.
I think right then Woody should have stepped off before the at-bat began and moved Renteria himself. Tony La Russa will not argue with that. You got a veteran guy on the mound. Tony knows.
Yeah, Mike Matheny, the catcher, has signaled for the trainer to come on out, and this is not good.
No, it's that rib cage again. There was absolutely 60% effort in every pitch he threw in that at-bat to Berkman. That last fastball was just 85 miles an hour. That's about 6 or 7 miles off the norm for Woody Williams. This is a devastating blow once again to the pitching staff of the Cardinals.
Well, they were hoping they had gotten him back to full health. He'd been pitching really brilliantly coming into tonight. 3-0 with a .050 earned run average in his last 3 decisions since coming off the disabled list. He's done for the ball game. And this is bad news for the St. Louis Cardinals. Woody Williams here on September 20th has to leave the mound. The assumption is, even though he gets the hand from the crowd, that Woody Williams is going to have to fight his way through poor health to pitch in the playoffs. That look tells you everything you need to know. Molina coming in 5-3 St. Louis, and we'll be back.
Premium tires don't have to be expensive.
Our 70,000-mile premium Futura touring tires aren't expensive.
They start at just $35.99 each.
$35.99 each is a great deal.
Futuras are some of the best tires made.
They just cost less. Pep Boys, we're car people.
I told you this thing was awesome.
The world's first 60-inch plasma HD TV from Zenith. An epic experience just 4 inches deep. From the high-definition authority, Zenith.
Gehrig's farewell speech. Selfless. Robinson's rookie year. Fearless. Fisk's game winner. Timeless. Our pastime. Priceless. Baseball will announce its most memorable moment at the 2002 World Series. Use your MasterCard and you could be there.
In a world of superhumans, fierce battles have raged and many have fallen. Now the best remain, but only one can wear the ring. Who will lead his team to victory? Will it be Johnson, Jeter, Pujols, Hunter, Chipper, or Chavez? Watch the Major League Baseball postseason. The world will be watching. Will you?
I'll tell you what, Woody Williams looks like a man in a state of shock right now. He leaves the ballgame 1 out away from qualifying for a win, but that is way on down the list. That rib cage injury, that has to be it, Sut. He goes 4 2/3, gives up 6 hits, 3 runs, and he has to be taken out of the ballgame.
Well, it's definitely something physically wrong. Take a look at the last at bat. There was a suicide squeeze. You always see this kind of effort out of Woody. Look at him running down the line. You've got to wonder if maybe something didn't happen there. There it is right there. I asked him before the game, I said, how do you feel? He said, fine, I feel great. I said, look at me. And he wouldn't do it. Which told me right then he was trying to fight through something. Obviously now we know what it is, what it has been. I mean, this is a guy that back in 2000 had an aneurysm, major surgery, and only missed 2 months to the day before he was back starting for the San Diego Padres.
And it could have died. Wow. Huge blow for the Cardinals. Here's Gabe Molina with a 180 earned run average in his 10 games. He worked a season high 1 1/3 scoreless innings on Sunday against Houston.
Well, everything changes right now for these St. Louis Cardinals. Jason Isringhausen, their closer, having a terrific year, not available. May not pitch the rest of this year. Well, that is where this ball club becomes real vulnerable in what's going to be the 5th inning tonight, but particularly the 6th and 7th inning. Because you take Rick White, you take Veers from their normal setup role, Steve Klein, all of a sudden now those guys get backed off because you got to save them for the end of the game. Somebody else has to pitch the middle.
Into the dirt, knocked down by Matheny, and the runner will hold at first base. Lance Berkman. 2 out here in the 5th.
Well, all the Cardinals talking before the game about, all right, we got a pretty good shot at the division. Let's put our sights on the best record as far as Arizona was concerned. Let's go get that home field advantage. They've got 3 games starting Monday against the Diamondbacks.
Bagwell hammers that one into the deck, but foul. It's 1-1 on Jeff. He's gone 1 for 2.
They finished with 4 here against the Milwaukee Brewers, so you know that extra home game could be a big thing.
And Morris also coming back from injury this year. And the Cardinals have used 14 different starters this season. 3 balls and 1 strike on Bagwell. Andy Bennis with a nice pick-me-up, effectively coming out of retirement to help out. He's done good work, but Woody Williams, a real workhorse and a guy they were counting on for the playoffs to pitch them deep into October.
They were counting on him big time.
And 2-1 to Bagwell. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. And Jeff Bagwell's kind of count. Home runs this year. His career best was 47 2 years ago. He takes ball 4 that just misses a little high, and so Molina walks the first man he faces. First and second, 2 out. Let's go to the studio. Here's John Buccigross. John.
Dave, Mike Sweeney battling Manny Ramirez for the American League batting crown. Ouch, he gets hit by Dave Elder.
Sweeney 1 for 2, hitting .342 now. Royals down 4-1. Red Sox win. Derek Lowe's 21st win. Manny went 2 for 4, hitting .345, so he leads Sweeney by 3 percentage points. This means the Yankees cannot clinch the AL East since the Red Sox won, but they can clinch a tie. They lead the Tigers 1-0 in the fourth. There was rain there.
John, thank you. Darrell Ward, the batter, and he takes low for ball 1. And tonight in St. Louis at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals, with a victory, can clinch the National League Central Division title over their pursuers, the Houston Astros. But they have just lost Woody Williams to that apparent aggravation of the rib cage injury, which had him on the DL. Swinging a fly to dead center field. That's hit deep, but Edmonds with a beat on it and will make the catch right there on the warning track. So Hunter hits a 2-run homer. Woody Williams lost for the night, and the game tightens up.
Hello, Imagistics. Our copy machine isn't working.
What's going on?
Imagistics service call.
Machines are down. Imagistics down? No way.
For over 25 years, corporate America has relied on us, Imagistics, providing dependable office document equipment and unparalleled service.
I'm home!
Dad's home! Wendy's 99-cent crispy chicken nuggets introduces Movie Mania.
Yay, nuggets! See ya! Hey, how was your day?
Now, with every order of delicious all-white meat nuggets, you'll win one of 50 million prizes or offers, including millions of free movie rentals at Blockbuster.
Forget something?
Sauce.
Sauce. Hang on.
The 99-cent chicken nuggets and Movie Mania at Wendy's. It's better here.
Dad, the movie's starting.
Come on, hon, just tell me what soaps you want. This isn't really my kind of place.
Dad, I told you, lilac.
Lilac? Just use the stuff I got at the hotel.
Dad.
That's Nextel, right?
Yeah, it's...
And a chamomile, too, and a honeysuckle.
How about just some soap-scented soap?
It's that cell phone with the walkie-talkie, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
You should do their commercials.
Commercials? I want to be a serious actress.
The new Land Rover Freelander with 0% APR financing, 24-valve V6 engine, 5-speed automatic transmission featuring command shift, 8-speaker in-dash CD stereo, permanent all-wheel drive, 4-channel all-terrain anti-lock brakes. With this many standard features, you could go to the ends of the earth and not find a better offer. How do we know? We've been there. Land Rover, the most well-traveled vehicles on earth. Take a Freelander with you now with 0% APR financing.
The Arizona Diamondbacks may be the team that they'll have to face in the playoffs, these St. Louis Cardinals, or it could be down the road the Atlanta Braves. Smoltz, Chipper Jones, San Francisco Giants with a combination of Kent and Bonds. And how about the Dodgers, Eric Gagne and Sean Green trying to get Los Angeles that wild card in the National League. But right now, Tony La Russa focusing on getting the win tonight and winning the National League Central Division without Woody Williams. And here's what the Cardinals have done this year against the playoff contenders. Obviously 4-2 against the Giants and the Dodgers, their best record. Just 1-5 against Atlanta. And 1-2 against Arizona. They've got another series coming up this week, upcoming, with the Diamondbacks. Nelson Cruz, the new man on the hill for Jimmy Williams' Houston Astros.
It's all about the top of the order tonight for Peter Monroe. Both Vigna and Marrero combined to score all 5 runs, really making it difficult on Peter. Other than that, he pretty much had his way.
Edgar Renteria, whose back was a problem before tonight's game got underway. A lot of stretching, some treatment, and a good round of batting practice seemed to loosen it up. But at times tonight during the game, while running the bases in particular, he has shown the effects of a bad back. Done 1 for 2 with an infield single. But the Cardinals certainly don't need another injured player now with Woody Williams having to be removed midway through this one. Mike Matheny up next and in a pitcher spot, so it's 7, 8, 9 for St. Louis. They have a 2-run lead, 5-3. A ball to Edgar. So as you look at those teams and the one-loss record for the Cardinals against the playoff contenders, who do they match up well against? Who do the Cardinals absolutely not want to face?
I don't think anybody wants to face Arizona. Those big two, Schilling and Johnson have not slowed down one bit. If anything, they've gotten better. They've won more games this year than they did last year. Luis Gonzalez has been hot as of late. He's going to hit his 30 home runs, not the 57 of last year, but he's still that threat. They've got Durazo healthy.
3-1 pitch and taken for ball 4. Renteria will reach for the second time. Do you put any stock in regular season head-to-head contests? Does it mean anything come October?
I don't think it means a lot. I think you kind of get a feel for each other. But you're certainly not going to be intimidated because of what you've accomplished getting there. I think a big thing, too, for Arizona that really didn't get a whole lot of publicity was the trade they made with the Rockies for left-handed specialist Mike Myers. When you start looking at how to beat Arizona, who do you got to get out? Luis Gonzalez. Who do you got to get out to beat the Giants? Well, Kent and Bonds, but mainly Bonds.
Mike Matheny indicating a bunt. Nobody out, a runner at first. 5-3 St. Louis here in the 5th. And Cruz has come to the on-deck area for St. Louis. Dave Veers is loosening up in the Cardinal pen down.
I think, to me, too, not at the level of the Cardinals, but a great story has been the Dodgers. And what Jim Tracy has done with all of those injuries. You're expecting Kevin Brown, you know, to win 20 games. He only had 10 starts. Dodgers lost 7 of those games. You look for Ashby. Well, he's got a problem physically again. That finger. Dryford was supposed to be back at July. At worst case scenario, never made it back. And yet they're still there.
He's bunting and drops it down, a good one. The pitcher on to first base, into second, Renteria. So in the sacrifice bunt, a man in scoring territory for the Cardinals as Matheny gets down the sack. And now Cruz will come on up to hit against Cruz.
We're cruising in, huh?
Rebound against Nelson here. Nelson Cruz, the Astros pitcher. His numbers at Memphis pretty good, as you can see by the home run totals and the RBI totals. 35 big flies with 100 runs batted in. They'll try and give Tony La Russa a 3-run cushion here. Cruz with a pinch hit home run on Wednesday in a game against the Colorado Rockies. He also had a 2-out RBI base hit in the 13th inning that scored Edgar Renteria in a game on September 7th. But those 35 home runs led all minor league batters this year. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and a beauty that floated in at 79 miles an hour. 1-1.
Well, right now you're learning about this guy. He likes the fastball. You can see all 3 fingers on top of the grip for Cruz. That's going to be the changeup. The more skin you put on a baseball, the more resistance it has coming out, the less velocity.
One down, and that's on the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He came back with a fastball and hit the black edge of the plate. Pretty good pitch.
I would imagine all set up by Brad Ausmus, too. That was the first pitch that Cruz saw when he looked down. You think, well, I made him look bad on that changeup. Why not again? Well, because to have success like he did, so be at the minor league level, you make adjustments.
1-2. Did he check a pitch in the dirt? And it's strike 3. He went after it, and they ring him up for the 2nd out. So 2 gone in the 5th.
Well, welcome to the big leagues. That's how they go about you. Never really saw a good fastball. Got caught in between on everything. After the first off-speed pitch that he was way out in front of, he decided to stay back, gets a fastball that he takes. Now all of a sudden, well, I'm not going to take another fastball. Well, what is it? It's a good, hard breaking ball. Started it at the knees. The movement took it down and out of the zone, and he just couldn't hold up.
So with 2 away, Renteria is still glued to second base, and here's Fernando Vina. The top of the order has done all the damage tonight for St. Louis. He's the leadoff man. He has tripled and walked and scored each time. The man right behind him, Eli Marrero, has 3 hits in 3 at-bats. And he has scored 3 times. All the Cardinals scoring between their 1 and 2 hitters. Vina hitting around 300 for the year against Houston. He takes a ball low. And in fact, Fernando, along with Jim Edmonds and Albert Pujols, those 3 alone have combined to hit around 330 against Houston.
It is surprising to me how many relievers now rely on that changeup like Cruz does. It's without a doubt his best pitch.
And one off the mound, fielded by Loretta, and in plenty of time for the 3rd out. No runs or hits, 1 man left. We have played through 5 innings. It's not decided yet. 5-3 St. Louis.
This week, ESPN College Game Day is live from Knoxville, Tennessee. To find out if the 4th-ranked Vols can stay undefeated as they face hated rival Florida. College Game Day live from Knoxville, 10:30 Saturday on ESPN.
The people of Hawaii have survived Pearl Harbor and killer hurricanes. Wednesday, the new invasion begins. TV's Funniest Family is off to Hawaii in the spectacular 1-hour season premiere of My Wife and Kids, Wednesday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Will another legend call now to order HBO on Dish Network.
Top of the 6th coming up. The Astros about to swing against the Cardinals, and they'll do so against a new pitcher. 5-3 St. Louis. And that new pitcher is the veteran right-hander Dave Veers. And they work him a lot. 67 appearances so far for the 35-year-old out of Montgomery, Alabama.
You know, in the last couple of times that we've seen Dave, all of those appearances might be taking his toll. I know he's done it before. He's a proven closer, setup man, whatever you want from him, but velocity has just not been consistently there like we've known it with Dave Veers. We'll find out what he's got tonight.
He'll be facing Mark Loretta to begin the 6th inning, as the Astros are not going quietly in St. Louis's bid on their home turf to win the Central Division crown tonight. The big story in this one, though, another obstacle and another blow to the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's been a season of those kind of difficulties for them. Really incredible. Woody Williams having to leave the ball game with 1 out to get in the 5th inning. Apparently because of that rib cage injury which has hampered him this season. And if he cannot pitch any more this year, including the playoffs, it's a giant blow to the hopes of the Cardinals. Loretta in the game has lined out to center and singled twice. He's hit the ball right on the button. And it's 2-2 on.
How important does Chuck Finley become right now for Tony La Russa? That move may end up being even bigger than the Scott Rowland one was, because now you'd have to think he's starting game 2.
Ball 4, and Loretta will take his base. Over the last couple of innings, the Cardinals have walked 3 Houston Astros after walking 1 man in the first 4 innings.
Dave really struggled in yesterday's ball game. Only threw 17 pitches, but did not record an out. Walked a couple of guys, gave up a couple of hits, and along with that, a couple of runs.
He is certainly a guy who likes the workload. He Royals ball one to Blum. Blum, since the 25th of July, is hitting .323. So this is a guy with a hot bat right now. Switch hitter. He has walked and popped up tonight. Trying to hold up, did he? The appeal, and he did not. That's a strike. 1-1.
Gets him on a splitter. Down in the dirt. Problem for Dave right now, that pitch has always been there for him, but locating that fastball, he's got to, throwing no harder than he is right now.
A check swing on a pitch down low. 2-1.
I've seen an 86 and an 87 mile an hour fastball. He's normally 91, 92. When you're throwing that hard, that makes that split finger fastball that much more effective. You're a strikeout type guy. Dave right now is just trying to get outs.
Blum takes a strike. That squares the count 2-2. We thought there was a possibility Edgar Renteria might have had to leave the game earlier because of that bad back of his, but he has hung in there, refusing to come out.
If they win tonight, I'd be real surprised to see him in the lineup tomorrow.
3-2. So Veer's having a little trouble throwing strikes. He walked the first man he faced. He passed on Loretta. Now 3-2 on Blum. And Brad Ausmus is next. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Tough spot here too for Jimmy Williams. You're going to send that runner with the tie-in run at home plate. I got to figure he's going to throw another splitter. That's the only thing he's really had success with.
Runner holds, and it's low for ball 4. He's walked back-to-back man to begin his outing. And so the St. Louis Cardinals are doing everything they can to keep Houston alive tonight.
A couple of conversations going on now. Take a look in the bullpen. Rick Crudale up and throwing. Dave Duncan's going to talk to Dave Veers and Mike Matheny. Also Gene Lamont with a conversation to Brad Ausmus. Makes me think that there might be a sacrifice bunt involved here, as there was in the bottom of the 5th inning with the catcher of the Cardinals laying down one.
Well, you bunt 2 men into scoring position. A base hit ties the ball game.
There's really not a whole lot that Dave can say right now other than go up there and just try to fill him with as much confidence as you can. Come on, big guy. You've been there before. You've gotten out of this many a time. Now, I want to see you do it again. Yeah, you might say something like, hey, pretend like those are you've inherited those runners. Those are Woody's runners. Now keep him from scoring. You know, just something along that line to get him going.
Ausmus grounds that one to first. Tino Martinez on to Renteria, back to first. Dugout, got him. Double play. 3-6-3. Tino Martinez was the only guy in the infield who hadn't already made a terrific play tonight for St. Louis. Well, consider that done. A runner down to third, but with 2 away now. And Jimmy Williams will argue that close play at first.
Joe Torre told us last year during the World Series, Tino Martinez played well enough to win a Gold Glove defensively. I think Jimmy's going to come out here and argue this play, but you know, Brad Ausmus has already this year now grounded into 29 double plays. I was completely surprised there that he was allowed to swing away. Veers came up with the big pitch that he needed to get the ground ball, and then Tino Martinez and Renteria took it from that point.
That's a very docile argument here. Not much of one. We'll give you a look at the play at first base here.
That really remind you of Lou Piniella yesterday, doesn't it? Look at Tino. Look at him move inside. There's the throw. Renteria across the bag. What an arm Renteria still has. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he was safe.
No wonder Ausmus, and that's an easy call. I mean, I can't believe Larry Pansino missed that one by that much. Look at him. He's right on top of it. He's in perfect position. But there's the foot. Where's the baseball at? Wow.
Yeah, the ball was still in the dirt. Orlando Merced about to stand in and pinch hit. But Ausmus called out on a double play that actually wasn't.
You know, that's one of those things where the home crowd can make a difference.
Yeah, especially a home crowd like this one in St. Louis.
They're going to get loud, and you know what they want. They're wanting that right arm of the umpire to go in the air, and they might have had a part in getting that to happen.
Orlando Merced takes outside. The runner at third is Mark Loretta. The tying run at home plate. Merced has hit 6 home runs. He's been a very good pinch batter for them overall at .295.
Well, Dave Duncan would like to go back out to that mound and pump some more confidence into Dave Veers, but he can't do that. Already been out once.
The guy who got pumped up was Larry Poncino. I mean, he got a little carried away with that play. It wasn't that close at first base. Goodell continues to throw a little harder. 6th inning, 2 out. Veers has had trouble with his command in this inning, and he has walked his 3rd hitter in this frame.
I think you have to go get him. I mean, as much as he's done for Tony La Russa and in this game, he's only made 1 good pitch to the 4 hitters that he has faced. Brian Hunter hit a homer in his last at bat. You don't expect that to happen again, but I mean, right now Dave Veers just not able to locate anything, particularly the fastball.
Hunter's last at bat in the 5th inning, wound up into the bullpen area. This is 3rd home run of the year, but that was a 2-run shot, and he has driven in all 3 of the Astros runs this evening. He's had a big ball game. Merced came out. They run for him. Carlos Hernandez will take over at first base. So they're on the corners, 2 out. And Hunter, who has been all sorts of trouble for the Cardinal pitching staff tonight, about to swing away. Wow. 16 pitches, only 4 strikes. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
I'll tell you what, maybe even sometimes to a fault, Tony sticks with the guys that got him there. And Veers has been that guy for a long time now. He wants the baseball. He'd be disappointed if you took him out. And
into the dirt. Nice block by Matheny to suffocate it. 1-1.
Change in baseball now with the video cameras and replays so close to the dugouts that they have. He knows what happens, and he's going to let Larry know that when he gets there.
2-1 pitch, a high fly to center field deep, but Edmonds backs up to the track for it, and he has it. Boy, Hunter's had some good cuts tonight, but this one scrams 2, and Veers, despite his wildness, gets out of it. Still a 2-run lead for the Cardinals.
Direct from the Major League Baseball Clubhouse Store. The Major League Baseball Clubhouse Store presents Bobblehead Fever. Bobbles are the hottest collectible, and you can get all your favorite players right now. Bonds, Schilling, Sosa, Ichiro, Giambi, Rodriguez, and more. Call toll-free 866-MLB-2002 to add these baubles to your collection for only $19.95 each. 866-MLB-2002. Call now.
The Terminator, Dawn of Fate, rated teen.
Now, there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. A new anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a new strip releases even more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. It's turning the shaving world upside down. Mach 3 Turbo. New from Gillette. Try new Gillette Series Shave Gel and get skin care with every shave.
Great. Credit card bill. Wonder what's in here this time.
Look at these fees. What's that,
One rate for purchases? A higher rate
cash advances from those telemarketers.
Relax. We switched to Capital One's no hassle card.
Huh? Capital One.
Get a Capital One no-hassle card. No balance transfer fees, no telemarketing. It's got the nation's lowest long-term fixed rate on everything from purchases to cash advances. Check your mailbox today for Capital One's no-hassle card offer with one low rate and none of the hassle.
Honey? You okay?
What's in your wallet?
5-3 St. Louis as we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Dave Veers gets a little pat on the back there from Tony La Russa. He's all smiles right now, but boy, said he had a rugged inning with 3 walks.
Tell you what, you can't hit the ball any further in this ballpark and not have it go out than Brian Hunter did, right to the base of the wall there at the 402 sign.
Jerome Robertson coming on for the Houston Astros, and he had a heck of a season in the minor leagues. He was the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year for New Orleans, going 12-8 with a 2.55 ERA. He's pitched very well as a relief pitcher for Jimmy Williams.
You know, and they really got that turned around last year when he went to Round Rock. He had been a starting pitcher throughout most of his career. One of those guys that they just ain't working out. He was 1-7 at New Orleans in 2000 when he started. 5-1 out of the bullpen a year ago, and here he is in the big leagues.
The left-hander facing Eli Marrero and dealing ball 1. Robertson made his first major league relief appearance 9 days ago against Colorado. He gave up 1 hit in 1/3 of an inning. He delivers down and in for a ball. Edmonds next, and then Pujols. So for the youngster, a very difficult part of the Cardinal order. Marrero's been perfect tonight. He's 3 for 3. Well, now the count goes to 3-0. Neither pitching staff has been sharp. 15 hits in the game, a lot of 3-ball counts. Monroe taking all the way, now 3-1. Steve Monroe started for the Astros. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, 9 hits. And he would take the loss if the Astros can't rally. Left-hander's 3-1 pitch, shot to center field deep. Hunter turning on it, racing to the track, to the wall. It's gone. Eli Marrero is 4 for 4 tonight. And he greets young Mr. Robertson with a home run to dead center field. His 16th of the year.
Dave, I honestly think this is the best everyday lineup in the National League right now. So many ways they can beat you. So many nights it's a different guy that does it. Pujols is constantly going to get you. Roland has been hot. Edmonds can get you. Well, tonight it's Eli Marrero.
Well, the crowd wants a curtain call for Eli. Here it comes.
Good for you, St. Louis.
Well, he's been an outstanding role player for them this season, but he gets 16 home runs out of a role guy. He's doing pretty well.
Well, you've also gotten 60 RBIs out of him. You got a stolen base. 4 more runs scored tonight.
Swinging a deep drive by Edmonds. He launches that one to right. Berkman back, and that one is gone. Back to back for the St. Louis Cardinals. They lead it 7-3. For Edmonds, his 28th of the season. Back-to-back shots by St. Louis.
Happened yesterday, partner. The only difference was right after Edmonds hit his homer following Marrero's, Pujols did it as well. Well, Pujols might do it again, but I don't think it's going to be off the same pitcher the first 2 did.
And Jim Edmonds gets a curtain call. And Robertson gets a talking to from Jimmy Williams.
You just get the feeling that these fans are wanting to stay on their feet and dance all night long.
They're looking for the clincher tonight. They're looking for the Central Division title tonight.
No question in Jim Edmonds' mind about it. Oh, my. He lets you know right away, doesn't he? Kind of lays the bat down. No disrespect shown there.
But it's stylish. Here's Pujols. He's done it 33 times this year. And you know everybody in the ballpark, including Marrero and Edmonds, are thinking the same thing. 3 in a row. Pujols 1 for 2 with an RBI single. He's also drawn a walk. Cut on and missed.
I think right now you've seen that Jimmy Williams realizes that even though the magic number is 2 and not 0, he's wanting to find out what he has here with Robertson. What's he made out of? All right, that happens. That happens to the best of them. Now what happens?
A ball and 2 strikes. Scott Rowland would hit next. Nobody out. And on the back-to-back homers by Marrero and Edmonds, St. Louis has a 4-run cushion. Swinging a drive to right field, but this one will hang up and be caught by Berkman. But everybody in the ballpark came jumping out of their seats, thinking they had done it 3 in a row. Let's go to the studio. Here's John Buccigross. John.
Angels 1 game behind the A's with 9 to play. Tim Salmon in the house. Tim Salmon out of the house in Seattle. A home run, 1-0. Don't forget, the wild card winner has to go to New York, while the West winner gets the Twins at home. There are the Athletics against the Rangers. No score.
John, thank you very much. And here the St. Louis Cardinals are edging closer and closer to clinching the Central Division crown tonight.
A couple of guys that have been close for a long time. Speaking of the Anaheim Angels, both Finley and Edmonds, most of their career there.
But they leave Anaheim to come to St. Louis and get into the playoffs, while the Angels, a restructured Angels team, are churning toward 100 wins and a place in the playoffs in the American League.
It's unbelievable what Mike Social has done with that club. I had him finishing last in that division.
No kidding.
That was an easy one. It was an easy one to break down. Seattle's going to win it again. Oakland's going to finish second. Texas, they've got to be improved. I mean, with all of the money that they've spent, revamped their bullpen, Chan-Ho Park. Oops.
Which Anaheim's improving only about 41 games, right? Understand? That one is in there for a strike. And a full count on Rowland.
You know, and they did it with a couple of starting pitchers that a lot of teams could have had. Apier and Aaron Seeley came over and just kind of, you know, a guy like Scott Spezia, you know, they just kind of brought it all together. That young pitching has matured, and I think Apier and Seeley, along with Bud Black, have done that.
3-2 pitch, a blooper, but fouling out of play. And of course, Jared Washburn, the terrific youngster, leads them in victories. He has been the ace of that staff. And a very good everyday lineup, a very balanced everyday lineup.
You know, and a guy like Ramon Ortiz, he can shut you out on any given night.
Anaheim, a big story. The 3-2 pitch fouled away. And during that time, when the Oakland A's were ripping off that unconscious 20-game winning streak, Anaheim very quietly in the backdrop went 14-6. Didn't phase them at all.
It's unbelievable, 20 in a row. I mean, very seldom can you win 4 in a row against the same team and sweep a series.
The 3-2 to Rowland. Drill deep to right field. This might be the 3rd home run of the inning. That one sails out of here. A home run for Rowland. 3 home runs in the inning. the St. Louis Cardinals. And they are partying here at Busch. 8-3 St. Louis. That was a laser beam by Rolen. His 29th home run. He'll get a curtain call.
We want you back. That's what they're saying. This isn't just rent a player. They want him back for next year and many years to come. They might have just got him right there.
3 home runs, 3 curtain calls, and the Cardinals 6th inning. And they may not be done yet. Scott Rolen, number 29. The second RBI of the night, too. Ground ball this time, backhanded by Biggio. 2 gone. So this big explosion in the 6th inning might reduce the sting of the loss of Woody Williams somewhat. Although they're certainly going to feel that sting a lot tomorrow. And we're awaiting a medical update on Woody's condition, but he pitched 2/3 innings tonight and had to come out of the game.
You know, I gained even more respect for Scott Rolen tonight. We tried to set up a little pregame interview with him. And we got word back that the answer to begin with was yes and then no. I went up to him before the game. I said, you know, I respect you. What's the deal? He said, Sud, he says, you know what? They're the ones. They were in first place when I got here. It's not fair for them to look out and see me talking to you when these guys have done so much more. And I totally agree with that. You know, he'd be happy to talk to me anytime, anything. It wasn't that he didn't want to do an interview with us. He just didn't feel like he was the guy.
Didn't you have a similar situation with the '84 Cubs?
You know what? I did. I really did. I wasn't being mean. I got there in the end of June and talked to somebody else.
0-2 to Renteria, fouled off. Of course, you had an awful lot to do with the Cubs' success going 16-1.
Boy, he's having a lot to do with it now. That's 8 homers in this month of September. He's hit 5 in the last 4 games. He's going to get another at bat here tonight, possibly.
Renteria jackknifes away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 home runs in this inning by St. Louis off of Jerome Robertson.
Well, when I look and see nobody up in the Astros bullpen, it just kind of tells you what their thinking is. So I start thinking about, all right, Tony, who's going to throw that last pitch? You know, Isringhausen, we're told he's available, but you can't take a chance on that, I don't think, after losing Woody.
2-2, cut on and missed. Renteria actually foul-tipped it for strike 3. But the St. Louis Cardinals, to the roar of their crowd, homered 3 times with Eli Marrero, followed by Jim Edmonds, and 1 man later, Scott Rolen.
Verizon Wireless now gives you more minutes to call your mother, your brother, and all your friends anytime across the country. Now get 1,000 anytime mobile-to-mobile minutes to call any other Verizon Wireless customer coast to coast. Plus, get unlimited nights and weekends on the America's Choice Network for $39.99 monthly access, and get a cool Kia Sarah phone for just $29.99. So now you can call your cousin, your client, and even your contractor anytime. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now? Good.
My life has never been more demanding, and yet I want to push a little harder, give a little more. And to help keep my mind and body as active as possible, there's Centrum Performance. It's a complete multi with higher levels of B vitamins plus ginkgo and ginseng to help re-energize my mind and body. The more life demands, the more we demand of ourselves.
Centrum Performance. Life demands it.
And try new Centrum Performance Energy Bars. Taste the energy.
It generates more power than ever before. It generates more heat than ever before. That's why today's harder working engine needs Castrol GTX, engineered for the best protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown of any leading oil. Castrol GTX, put it in.
Any luck?
I'm looking.
Hun?
I'm trying.
Not everyone knows cars, and that's okay, because they know about the pros at Jiffy Lube. Every 3,000 miles. Jiffy Lube, the well-oiled machine.
Got it.
That's not it.
I love you.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Comiskey Security. What now? 2 to get in. Can the Yankees clinch? A must-win for Florida. Tiger on cruise control. And the Swami's Week 3 pick. SportsCenter tonight after the game.
The St. Louis Cardinals want very much to win the 2002 Central Division title tonight. They're in pretty good shape, up by 5. We go to the top half of the 7th inning. And another good story for the Cardinals has been Rick White. In 15 appearances, he's gone 2-0. He has not allowed an earned run, and that's in 17 in the 3rd innings.
There's nothing wrong with him physically. Watch the command of his fastball, particularly on the inside part of the plate, setting up one of the best sliders you'll see out of anybody's bullpen.
You got to believe if the Astros still have a shot in them, it'll have to take place in this inning with Biggio, Berkman, Bagwell, and Ward coming up. Biggio has gone 0 for 3 in the contest. He socks that one down the right field line. Marrero giving chase heading into the corner, but it is out of play. Eli Marrero, one of 3 Cardinals to hammer a home run in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Moments later, Edmonds following with a back-to-back shot, and then after Pujols had flied out to deep right field, Scott Rowland knocked one over the fence and right and into the bullpen for his 29th home run. 3 jacks by the Cardinals. Did he check the appeal? And he did not swing the bat. It's 1-1.
Just kind of a reminder of what the problem for the Houston Astros has been all year. 3 games under 500 on the road coming into tonight's. Why? They don't hit. Their ERA overall is basically about the same, but their batting average at home 286, on the road just 241.
And of course they swing in one of the best hitters parks in baseball, and maybe the 2nd best outside of Coors Field, but on the road they don't take those bats with them. Fly it again to the right field corner, but that'll become a souvenir. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Biggio, a .292 career hitter, hitting just .260 this year.
I don't know who it's going to be, but they're too right-handed dominant as far as their lineup is concerned. They need some thunder from the left side along with Berkman.
In there for strike 3 call. Biggio just frozen in the batter's box. He is 0 for 4. Let's look at the National League Central Division standings. The magic number for the Cardinals is 2, and that means they win tonight and they win the division. It's that simple. And that'll be it for the Astro threat, which just was never quite enough for Tony La Russa's team.
You know, looking at how many games they're behind, look no further than what they've done head-to-head. 11 wins for the Cardinals this year. Only 5 victories for the Astros when they play each other.
Well, you can't point a finger at this guy, Lance Berkman. He's hitless tonight, but he's had a spectacular season. For a time in the middle of the summer, he was probably the man to beat for the National League MVP. 41 homers, 125 RBIs. Right into the shift. Vina there. They were stacked up on that side to get him, and they were 2 away. That'll bring up Bagwell, another one of those right-hand hitters that Rick Sutcliffe was talking about.
Tony La Russa just got back from walking over, talking to Dave Duncan. Duncan, with all of those charts in front of him, got to be feeling pretty good about how they pitched Lance Berkman in that situation and where the defense was lined up behind him.
A strike to Bagwell. Jeff's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
There's some of those charts that have helped their pitchers put an 0 for 3 thus far on Lance Berkman.
The breaking ball makes it 1-1 on Bagwell. Likely at some point early next year, before the All-Star break, to reach 400 home runs. At some point in his career to get to 500 home runs. And by the end of next year to reach 400. He swings right through that pitch, and it's 1-2. And perhaps 1,800 RBIs by the time his career is over. Up to 379 home runs.
And you know what? He's 46 all time on that home run list. Don't forget, we mentioned Minute Maid Park right now and how nice it is to hit there. Don't forget where Bagwell spent most of his career at, playing in that Astrodome. I mean, how many home runs ended up being just fly balls to the warning track in that park that are out of anywhere else? That was the best pitcher's park that I ever pitched in.
I thought that was one of the great justices in sport, that they went from the Astrodome to building a bandbox of a park, a great hitter's park, and Bagwell was able to make up for some of those lost home runs relatively quickly. And boy, did he ever. 47 of them a couple of years ago. A little something in the eye of Ed Rapawano, the home plate umpire. He needs some attention. Let's go back and see this last pitch.
I wasn't really paying attention. I'm not real sure what happens here. All right. There's a swing and a miss. And you know what? It just looked like a bug. I mean, maybe a mosquito or something just all of a sudden flew into the eye of Ed.
1-2 pitch driven deep to right center. But Edmonds has a good long look at it. And he puts it away for the third out. So the 34,990 on hand at Busch are ready to party. It's 8-3 St. Louis.
In a world of superhumans, fierce battles have raged and many have fallen. Now the best remain, but only one can wear the ring. Who will lead his team to victory? Will it be Johnson, Jeter, Pujols, Hunter, Chipper, or Chavez? Watch the Major League Baseball postseason. The world will be watching. Will you?
Chris Davis from ESPN, and I want you to get in on all the college football action this fall with ESPN Game Plan and Dish On Demand pay-per-view. When you order the ESPN Game Plan season package before October 1st, you will automatically be entered to win a VIP trip here to ESPN's world headquarters in beautiful Bristol, Connecticut. You and a friend will watch a live broadcast of College Game Day and spend the rest of the day with us. Call 1-877-DISH-PPV to order ESPN Game Plan today.
Showtime presents a new original series.
That NADCOM satellite we deployed was some sort of cover.
They used us, didn't they? Whoever destroyed the Earth looks just like us.
Oh, my God.
That will leave you breathless.
Dad, get out of here. Go, go! Oh, God!
Can't find the Earth.
Odyssey 5, starring Peter Weller, every Friday night, 10 p.m. 9 Central, part of Sci Friday on Showtime. Part of Showtime Unlimited, 10 channels for $11.99. Call 888-621-2083 now.
What you dream is possible. A world of easy communication. A real connection to deliver your message to whomever you wish, virtually anywhere, anytime. Dish Network Business Solutions simplifies communication. Let the power of satellite link you with others via computer or television. Stay ahead of the pack and the sharks. You'll need to in today's changing world. Dish Network Business Solutions. Clearly a better way to communicate.
ESPN's Major League Baseball, brought to you by Gap.
St. Louis, Missouri, Busch Stadium. The Cardinals in the lead 8-3. They're batting here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Rick Sutcliffe, Dave O'Brien with you. You see the Cardinals have out-hit the Astros 12-6. 3 home runs by St. Louis, all coming in an explosive 6th inning. Mike Matheny, the St. Louis catcher, has gone 1 for 2 tonight. Miguel Cairo is going to bat for the pitcher next, and then it'll be Fernando Vina. 34,990 inside the ballpark tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if in another couple of innings many hundreds more gather outside the ballpark.
You know, it looks like it's grown since about the 4th inning.
It has.
I think people got word, hey, this might be it. Grab your coat, which sounds funny to say in St. Louis. That's the way it's been today.
Yeah, cool today. I mean, for us, coming from some warmer climes, it's a nice break. And certainly for the folks here, it's a nice break. But feeling more and more like October. And with a win tonight, they assure themselves they will be playing in October.
Just as a fan, love seeing all the red here. I mean, they love their Cardinals, they love their Rams, they love their Blues. Why wouldn't you? All of them good, solid franchises. I don't know about the Rams right now, though.
Yeah, what's up with the Rams? 0-2. Ouch. The Patriots are undefeated, though. Slap foul the other way by Matheny. I don't think everyone's going to make it to the celebration.
You know, but I bet they're still here for it. This is one of those nights. Had this happen, you know, in June or July, you know, we might take him home. You know, he's tired. Not tonight. Yeah, this is a rarity here. You mentioned Robertson, pitcher of the year in the PCL. They normally pick up all those awards at Round Rock at the AA level. What a farm system the Astros have had and over the years and continue to have.
1-2, now 2-2 on Matheny.
Look at the guys that they have developed. Oswalt, and it goes back to Biggio and Berkman and Billy Wagner. Not just everyday players, but I mean, we're talking about stars.
The Berkman, a guy they took right out of their backyard out of Waco, Texas. Grew up there, a star at Rice, where he was an All-American.
The last 3 years, though, they've either had the pitcher or player of the year in that AA league. Last year, they had both with Tim Redding and Jason Lane. This year, Kirk Saarloos was 10-1 and 13 starts. Come on up to the big leagues. That's the way to do it.
So the Astros figure to be very competitive for quite a while to come. Those two on that right side of the diamond are going to come back for several more years, you would think. Bagwell and Biggio. Just cemented there. Two great players. And what would the Astros organization be without them? I mean, had that guy stayed in Boston, because Biggio and Bagwell have played their entire careers in the Astro uniform.
And I just think about the kids growing up in Houston that have been able to go out to the park and watch them.
Fouled away right by McKay at first base. Oquendo made a fine play on the other side of the diamond in foul territory, but McKay's not going to try and catch that one.
No. Smarter than that. I think the two biggest reasons there's a new beautiful ballpark in Houston are those two guys on the right side of that infield.
Well, they both had wonderful careers. There's no argument that Bagwell is headed for Cooperstown. 3-2 walked in. That's low for ball 4. We'll continue this in just a moment. Right now we go to John Butchergrass in the studio.
40-year-old Roger Clemens going for career win 293. Bob Fick. Deep to right. That's a fair home run. Bottom 6, Yankees lead 2-1. Clemens just got out of a bases-loaded jam. Yankees can clinch a tie with the win in Detroit. Meanwhile, the Athletics lead the Angels by 1 in the AL West. The A's want to win the West. Otherwise, they play the Yankees in the first round. And, of course, the Yankees would have home field. A's doing their part, 2-0 in the fourth.
Yeah, Oakland losing both of those series to the Yankees in 5 games. Taken right down to the wire. Miguel Cairo, the hitter, a runner at first base here in the bottom of the 7th. He skips away from ball one. We were talking about Bagwell and Biggio and the great careers they've had. The big void, the one huge thing missing, is a playoff series win. They are 0-7. Lost all 7 series. An 8-22 record. Boy, is that a sore topic. Ran into Atlanta most of the time. Bounces away from Osmus, and a runner, Matheny, will slide on in to second base on the wild pitch.
You know, and I honestly think that's the biggest reason that Atlanta made that trade with Gary Sheffield. You get to the postseason, you're not going to hit off of number 4 or number 5 starters. You might not even see a number 3 starter. You're not going to see a long reliever. I mean, that long reliever is going to be another starter that comes in the ball game. You got to hit off of Maddox or Glavine or Johnson or Clemens or Schilling or Kevin Brown, guys like that. That's who you have to beat. Sheffield historically has been a guy, the better the pitching, the better he performs.
Fans, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Hey, don't miss Inside the Moments from Major League Baseball. Take part in Major League Baseball history. Vote for your most memorable moment at every Major League ballpark or on MLB.com. You decide, because after all, these moments belong to you.
You do that so well.
Thank you. You know, I practice. And I practice. And I practice.
About 2 or 3 times a week, don't you?
2-0 the count on Cairo, a runner at second, and he's bunting. He ran up and right through it on the bunt attempt. 2-1.
Well, obviously the game's not out of hand. Just a 5-run lead in the 7th inning. A lot of baseball left, particularly in that live ball era, or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of runs that are scored. They're going to give you something, take it. Osmus and Cairo having a little conversation, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Blum was well back at third base, and hey.
Yeah, he's bunting for a hit there, and obviously bunting on his own. But Tony La Russa's teams play like that. Popped up, but foul and off to the right. I mean, if this were a situation, same score, 7th inning, let's say it was Eli Marrero at first base, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see him trying to steal a base. Not the least bit surprised. Not with a La Russa team. And Tony La Russa makes no apologies for that. 5 runs. Game's not over yet.
Well, you promised me you're going to quit hitting and I'll quit running. But no, I don't think you're going to get that promise. That was a sacrifice bunt that's in there. You know, he wants one more.
Nobody out. Ground ball toward the hole and through for a base hit. Matheny moves up to third, and shallow left. Ward has it. So it's 1st and 3rd and none out. Indeed, the Cardinals still hungering for runs. And their whole approach tonight, the way they shot out and started this ball game with a great defensive play by Rowland and quickly got 2 runs. You knew they hungered to win it tonight. And then Puffer begins to throw quickly for Jimmy Williams down beyond the left field fence.
Well, what a great year pinch hitting for Miguel Cairo. It's his 18th pinch hit this season already.
13 hits tonight for St. Louis. The infield in for Houston. And Vigna, the hitter. Ground ball nubbed. A funny bouncer. Blum going to first base. The runner moves up into second. So Matheny holds at third. And that's out number 1.
Well, I think it was a good play on the part of Blum, but it could have been a double play had he been able to get it out of his glove quicker. He's mad at himself right now that he couldn't. Good pitch made by Robertson. Could have had the double play turn with a clean fielding play at third. Didn't get it.
I wonder too, is they're going to put on Eli Marrero, and you would too. He's 4 for 4 with a home run in his last at bat. I wonder if that funny spin had that ball really rolling around in the glove of Jeff Blum at third. It's right off the end of the bat. Marrero then will reach for the 5th time in this game with the intentional walk. That will load up the bases. for Jim Edmonds. He, Marrero, and Rowland all homered 1 inning ago in the 6th. All solo shots. So Marrero, red hot with the bat, will take his base. And he'll play for the inning-ending double play.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Jim Edmonds with 14 leads the Cardinals in intentional base on balls. You know that Pujols is second, and he's got 11. Can you believe Eli Marrero just tied him with 11 intentional passes? Wow.
Sports Center following our ball game. That will include coverage from what may be a celebration here at Busch Stadium, a celebration of the Central Division title.
They might be right back up on their feet here celebrating this at bat.
Edmonds is 1 for 3 with a homer, and he backs away for ball 1. A rising fastball.
That wasn't by design, I'll promise you that. He wanted to throw it as hard as he could down and away. He's had a lot of innings this year. He's just simply fatigued right now.
Robertson's 1-0 pitch. Drops it on the outside corner.
About 69 miles an hour.
So we went from 88-89 to 69, and Edmonds laid off it.
That's Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, that's right.
Type of difference.
The Astros ace gets that kind of disparity. Bases loaded, 1 gone. Edmonds, as mentioned previously, has really beaten the Houston Astros pitchers to silly this season, hitting around 400 off them with 6 home runs. We'll make it 7 after that one in the 6th inning. 7 home runs. In tight, 2-1.
Well, you got to throw a strike. Nowhere to put him. The last time he threw a fastball in the strike zone, he hit it out. Can you get a curveball over again? Well, for the most part, he's not been able to do that. He needs to now.
Edmonds ready, swung right through it. He took a home run cut though. 2-2.
I think Edmonds might have had that curveball in the back of his mind, because the last fastball he got in that exact same location, he hit out of the ballpark. He was just staying back way too long to catch up to that one.
The kid needs a strikeout. Flying foul off into the stands. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matheny, Cairo, and Marrero have loaded the bases. 8-3 St. Louis. The Cardinals looking for what would have to be called the put-away hit. If 5 is not enough, a hit here, and it'll take another bat by Jim Edmonds. He wants a new stick.
That was a pretty good pitch. The last fastball at 91 miles an hour in the inside corner. A lot of times you just look at the eyes of a pitcher in a tough spot like this to see what he's made of. I mean, he wants back on that mound. He's ready to go. Get in the box. I'm ready to throw a pitch. You like seeing that.
Edmonds with the new bat, and here comes the 2-2. Got a piece of it to hang in there. Robertson coming off a tremendous season in the Pacific Coast League.
Just 25 years of age, too.
And a hitter's league, have an ERA under 3 is saying a lot. Now he's trying to get out the hitter Jim Edmonds, who's already homered off him tonight. Swinging a fly ball to right field, and deep enough to bring in the run as Berkman makes the catch. Here comes Matheny to score. Another run in, that makes it 9-3. Second RBI tonight for Jim Edmonds. Give him a sacrifice fly. Jimmy Williams out to the hill.
Well, one thing about Jerome Robertson, he didn't quit on Jimmy Williams tonight. It was one of those nights where he didn't have his best stuff. He got touched up by one of the best offenses in baseball, but you know what? He'll learn from that and be better the next time out.
So Jimmy Williams will bring in some bullpen help in front of Albert Pujols. 2 on here. We'll be back in a moment.
Came in last night about 10:30. That baby of mine wouldn't let me in, so move it on over. Move it on over.
She changed the locks on my front door. Now my keys don't work no more. So get it on over. Scoot it on over. Move over, little dog.
Cause the big dog's moving in.
I like the old standards.
For every generation.
You just can't find it anywhere else. If you own a Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury, you can't find a better place for service than quality care at Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury dealerships. No matter what you need, quality care technicians can take care of it, even on Saturday. And right now, you'll also find great deals on everything from brakes to tires and more. Trust the experts. Quality care auto service. Only at Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury dealerships.
Come on already. Why is it taking so long?
Pushing the button won't help.
Shh, it's coming.
It's so frustrating. It's even worse than the elevator.
Tired of waiting on the internet? Move to Earthlink. You'll get online quicker and stay on with fewer drop-offs, pop-ups, and spam.
Okay, you want to sit here and try it?
No, I don't want to sit here and try it. I just want it to work.
Why wait? Move to Earthlink and get your first 1,000 hours free. Call 1-800-EARTHLINK.
You know, I don't know what my mother calls me more often, Jimmy or...
You must be hungry.
At her table, there's always a helping of whatever you want as much as you want. Just like Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. Have Alfredo with penne. Or how about bolognese meat sauce with fettuccine? You pick your homemade sauces, you pick your pastas, you get all you want. Plus, unlimited salad and breadsticks for just $7.95. Tonight, I'm having it with my brother. Mom calls him...
Did you eat yet?
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Comiskey Security. What now? 2 to get in. Can the Yankees clinch? A must-win for Florida. Tiger on cruise control. And the Swami's Week 3 pick. SportsCenter tonight after the game.
That's your score. St. Louis ahead 9-3. 2 outs in the 7th. They have runners at first and third and 2 out. And Albert Pujols, the hitter. He has gone 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Brandon Pufford will be making his 50th appearance of the year. Ground ball sharply hit, but Blum will feed Biggio for the out. On 1 pitch, Brandon Puffer gets his man. Another run in, though, and it's the Cardinals by 6 going to the 8th inning.
Watch Monday Night Countdown, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, delivered by UPS.
In a world of opportunity, how do you find a financial advisor who's right for you? Do you want one who works for the oldest company or the youngest? Do you want one with the fastest growing company or the most deeply rooted in tradition? Or do you simply want one who listens to you like you are the only investor in the world? Raymond James, you first.
Told you this thing was awesome. The world's first 60-inch plasma HD TV from Zenith. An epic experience just 4 inches deep. From the high-definition authority, Zenith.
Presenting the new Gateway desktops. Starting at just $5.99 after a $100 mail-in rebate. So stylish, even the price is good looking.
May your travels bring you serenity, satisfaction. Like when you book ahead, ask for the daylight savings rate and save 25% on your days in room. It's like getting the bathroom free. All you need is the inspiration to book now.
Today, we showed
showed this grandfather how he could count on long-term care insurance to be there for him.
My baby don't care for the shows. My baby don't care.
If he ever needs it.
My baby just cares. My baby don't care for.
Let's check the AL West race. Angels a game behind the Athletics. Garrett Anderson, 2-run homer. Anderson was just 4 doubles away from 60. No one's gotten 60 doubles in the season since 1936. But his 27th homer, it's now 5-1 Angels. Meanwhile, the team the Angels are chasing. The A's lead 2-1. But Ted Lilly, look at that. Excuse me. Rafael Palmeiro ties the game at 2. He would get thrown out at second base. So the Angels lead and the A's are tied.
John, thank you very much for keeping us abreast there. Here in St. Louis, 9-3 the Cardinals. A commanding lead as we go to the top half of inning number 8. And there's the left-hander Steve Klein. Look at all those appearances, 61 of them. Maybe not as impressive as he was a year ago and the year before that, but I'll tell you what, he knows he's going to pitch in games. And he knows come playoff time he's going to be in very important situations facing the star left-hand batters. But Seth, when you look at all the innings pitched out of their bullpen, and all the appearances, Klein 62 appearances now, Veers 68, Rick White 57, Isringhausen 57, Jeff Fassero 70 appearances. I mean, my goodness.
You know, it's nothing new for Klein. Actually, an off year for him. Led the league in appearances the last 3 years, but had a left tricep problem. Put him on the disabled list. Look at that. I mean, this is you know, just 3/4 of a season for Klein as far as that's concerned. Durable type of guy, puts the ball in play, sinker, slider, hit it if you can.
He deals a strike to Darrell Ward, who's done 0 for 3. 9 runs, 13 hits for the Cardinals, 3 runs on 6 hits for Houston. Neither side has been charged with an error. And right now the win goes to Rick White, one of the many Cardinals who's pitched a lot this year. Remember, St. Louis has had to use so many starters. They've had so many injuries, and the tragic death of Darryl Kyle. They've used 14 different starters. So that's put a lot of pressure on the bullpen.
Well, we know well, Darryl Kyle never missed a start. Out there every 5th day. Well, Isringhausen sure isn't acting like a guy that's got the night off.
No, he's not.
See how fast he's chewing that gum?
Check swing. 3-2.
He's thinking about coming in. You know, as I was jogging by the stadium, right, I guess it was about 2:30 this afternoon, he was out there signing autographs, and I just said, "Hey, you gonna be all right?" And he goes, "Yeah." Gave me the thumbs up. I didn't know that meant tonight.
Ground ball slapped to the right side, and it's a base hit for Darrell Ward to begin the 8th inning for the Houston Astros. They need 6 to tie. Coming up next here on ESPN at Sports Center with Linda Cohen and Kevin Frazier. Among today's top stories, the Comiskey Park attack and a follow-up. The Yankees are close to clinching, and those Wild West races revisited. That's coming up next here on ESPN. We'll also bring you post-game coverage from St. Louis as the Cardinals are trying to clinch the Central Division crown tonight. They could do it by hanging on with a win. And you have to like their chances. Up 9-3 in the 8th. Here's Loretta. Mark has gone 1 for 2. He swung the bat very well a couple of times this evening. A single back in the 4th.
You had to like the Cardinals' chances a lot just looking at the game before it started. Woody Williams on the mound. And outstanding in the month of September. Looked to be healthy. Beat the Astros and his opposing starter tonight, Pete Monroe, in his last start out. Neither one of those guys really very effective tonight, and just another huge blow to that starting rotation for Tony La Russa.
The question is it something Woody can bounce back from quickly? Logic says no, because he spent all that time on the disabled list, and rib cage is such a very difficult injury to return from anyway, and they're so easy to re-aggravate.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, particularly knowing that he wasn't 100% when he started the game tonight. I mean, he tried to make you believe he was, but everybody knew different.
Fly along the right field line, but foul by Loretta.
I mean, if you were to plan on him starting, let's say right at the end, I mean, they're going to wait till the last minute before they set that roster. You put yourself, you know, in a big hole when you're undermanned if he's not able to go. So more and more pressure is going to fall on the shoulders of Matt Morris, Chuck Finley.
Well, they would go 1-2. Let's say the playoffs began tomorrow and they would take on Arizona in round 1, which is a rematch of a terrific division series, won 5 games last year. It would be Morris against Randy Johnson, presumably, and then Chuck Finley at this point, if Woody can't go, against Kurt Schilling. Ground ball to Roland, over to Vigna, 1 on to Martinez for the double play. 5-4-3, 2 down, bases empty. That'll bring up Jeff Blum, but with nobody on base. So Klein gets the double play grounder by Mark Loretta.
I tell you, looking at the way that series could set up, they play Tuesday. Let's say it goes off as it stands. Then they're off and they play Thursday. Then they're off and they play Saturday. I mean, you could have, I think it'll be Kurt Schilling in game 1 again. It very well could be Randy Johnson. But it could be Schilling, Johnson, Schilling to start that.
Well, here it's Martinez to Klein for out number 3. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Cardinals inching closer to the division crown in the Central. They lead by 6.
My dear Dr. Lecter, I have admired you for years. I have some things I'd love to show you. Investigator Graham interests me. You should have taught him not to meddle. I don't believe you tell him who I am. The important thing is what I am becoming. I am the dragon. Before me, you tremble.
Red Dragon, rated R, at theaters Friday, October 4th.
Hey, America, I'm the new 99-cent BK value menu. You guys like bacon cheeseburgers?
Sure do.
3 strips of bacon.
3?
Yeah, I'm looking good.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. You guys single?
2 of us. 2.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah, you get off on the next floor.
The all-new BK value menu speaks for itself. Now, get 11 items for 99 cents every day. And have it your way in more ways.
The riding haulers you've seen farmers, maintenance crews, and lawn care professionals use cost thousands of dollars. But now, there's a professional quality hauler that's sized and priced for homeowners. The new DR Power Wagon 4x2 hauls a half-ton load, carries 2 people in comfort, and is loaded with professional features. The DR can make all of your outdoor chores easier and more fun. Building projects, gardening, taking care of animals, at camp, even hunting. Right now, the DR is on sale. Call 1-800-818-7474 for your free catalog and video all about the DR Power Wagon 4x2 and our full line of even lower-priced walk-behind models. You can even try the DR on your own property for 30 days risk-free. So call 1-800-818-7474 today or visit drpowerwagon.com for full details on the professional quality DR Power Wagon.
Last of the 8th coming up from St. Louis and Busch Stadium. The Cardinals with a 9-3 lead. And they're going to bring up Scott Rolantino Martinez and Edgar Renteria in front of just under 35,000 on hand to watch the St. Louis Cardinals clinch the 2002 division title. That's their goal tonight. With a win, it's theirs. Strike 1 to Roland. He's had a good night, 2 for 4 with a home run. Sports Center coming your way as soon as we wrap it up here in St. Louis. Foul tap by Roland. Midsummer acquisition has proven to be such a key for the Cardinals in that very important way that Rick was talking about very early in our broadcast. That I mean, the rest of the division had to Their knees had to buckle when the Cardinals got Scott rolling.
I mean, they were such a heavy favorite to begin with when the season started. And then all of a sudden, you know, obviously with Darryl Kyle, I mean, everything was just, you didn't know what was going to happen.
All the way into his dugout.
But it told you what the Cardinal front office was thinking when they were able to pull that trade off. And now I can't think, I mean, there's been some other moves that have been made during this season, but I don't know of one close to what the Cardinals pulled off getting him.
They followed that up with Chuck Finley in there for a called strike 3. So Rolen will take a seat. One away in the bottom of the 8th.
I mean, you've got 100 RBIs. You've got a Gold Glove.
And 3 Gold Gloves in his days with the Phillies. The next one he wins could very well be this year wearing the St. Louis Cardinal colors. We talked about their infield defense. Well, we've talked about it all year long. It just might be the best in the game with Tino Martinez, who's sitting now. 1 out, bases empty. Anchoring first base. A squibber barehanded and on to first base in plenty of time for the 2nd out. Let's go back to the studio. Here's John Buccigross.
Not a good scenario for Dodger fans. The Giants are winning. The Dodgers are losing. Eugene Kingsdale up the middle. RBI. That makes it 5-1. Eric Karras has hit a home run to make it 5-2. They play in the 4th.
And of course, in that wild card race in the National League, San Francisco leading the Dodgers by 1 game.
The Dodgers can't beat the Padres.
Seems like the Padres are going to have a lot to say about who wins that thing. Renteria gets hit by the pitch.
Curveball.
So it found him, and Edgar will take his base. He hardly felt it.
It's a breaking ball, but the problem, look where it hits. Oh, he got lucky. It caught the upper rear end instead of that lower stiff back we talked about all night. You wonder, though, I mean, you know, jumping out of the way, sometimes that could have something to do with maybe tightening that up a little bit more than it was. We saw what happened to Woody Williams. It was hustling down the first base line that created that problem again for him tonight with the ribcage.
I mean, Tony La Russa's got to be holding his breath the rest of the night and wondering, you know, even with victory so close at hand and a celebration just minutes away, are the gods lined up against him in 2002? If he has lost Woody Williams for the playoffs, and that's a distinct possibility, one of his top pitchers who could not make it through 5 innings tonight had to come out because of an aggravation of that ribcage injury. Man on, and now 2-1 on Matheny. Mike Matheny's gone 1 for 2.
Looks like Tony's made up his mind on who he wants out there for that 9th inning of the possible clincher. Nobody up in the pen. Steve Klein in the on-deck circle.
Fastball pumped in for a strike. So the man with the filthiest cap in Major League Baseball, not wearing it now, but he will be when he goes out to pitch the 9th. It will be his honor.
You know, I saw a special our Baseball Tonight guys did on that hat. I mean, he wants it filthy.
Diving stab by Biggio and tries to roll it into second base. He pushed it right by the bag. It'll be a base hit for Mike Matheny. Talk dirty. That's always a filthy uniform out there at second base for Houston.
How about the job by Mike Matheny tonight, though? His 2nd hit, the 3rd time he's been on base, and as always, doing a terrific job catching. The former catcher. Oh, I think he caught Loretta by surprise. Had he been down, that would have been there. That was there in plenty of time.
Yes. Klein now swinging away and goes right through the first one with a less than beautiful cut. Look at his teammates.
You know what this reminds me of? Him hitting Mark Grace pitching, or trying to pitch, I should say.
Little tapper on a swinging bunt, and Ausmus will handle it, and he throws him out. Klein is retired. That was his first at bat of the year, and Klein will toe the slab to try and wrap up the Central in a moment.
What keeps you running? Achieve New Balance.
Smirnoff Ice Premium Malt Beverage, reminding you that if you're gonna drink, do whatever it takes to act responsibly.
The heat is on when mozzarella, pepper jack, cheddar, and nacho cheese sauce form a taste to die for. Don't miss the new Cheese Extreme Quesadilla.
4 cheeses. 4. You gotta be insane.
The core of sports burns a blistering inferno of explosive action. Aggressive, hardcore, adrenaline style. MLB Slugfest, NFL Blitz, NHL Hits. Ignite your game. Rated everyone.
Coming into tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals' magic number had dwindled down to 2. With a win tonight, they clinched the Central. The magic inning was the 6th. Home runs by Eli Marrero, Jim Edmonds, and Scott Rowland. Big flies 3 times. They blew it open and now lead it 9-3. And Busch Stadium, St. Louis, the site of what might be the Central Division title and the clincher. With just 3 more outs, the Cardinals will win the division.
They just get it here, don't they?
Well, they sure do. They just had a marvelous tribute up on the scoreboard in between innings. Highlights of Jack Buck and Darryl Kyle and the terrific season they've had. Brad Ausmus with a swing and a miss, and the 9th inning is underway. Steve Klein to do the honors for Tony La Russa. And the Cardinals 3 outs away from clinching. Fly ball. Edmonds there. 1 away. While they were showing the tribute, it wasn't like the fans were sitting on their hands and watching. Every one of them, all 35,000, were standing and screaming their hearts out and applauding. It's a wonderful sight.
You just wonder what's going through his mind right now. He's been there before, but I know none of them in the past meant what this one would mean.
Jason Lane with a foul strike.
It started in spring training. One of the few times he went to camp without Mark McGwire. Then they lost Rick Ankiel. Woody Williams got hurt right off the bat. And the news only got worse for Tony La Russa. He lost his father. He lost his close friend and a father-like influence in Jack Buck. Then Darryl Kyle. And yet this.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 more out to get. And a season of pain and anguish, but also accomplishment and joy for the St. Louis Cardinals will culminate in a Central Division title.
Everybody out there wants that ball hit to them. They want it to end that way. Klein wants a strikeout. The fans want a strikeout.
Two down, bases empty in the 9th. A tapper but foul. And Brian Hunter is in the hole. Klein has put him there. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Giants and the Brewers. With one more strike, Tony La Russa and the Cardinals win the Central. And it's fouled away by Hunter.
They got here just in time, didn't they?
Just in the nick of time, folks. That's Steve Klein about to close it out. 9-3, St. Louis. They had a magical 6th inning, hitting 3 home runs. Guerrero, Edmonds, and Rowland hitting the ball out of the park in that inning. 1 strike away. Line drive. Oh, what a play by Rowland! And that's how the Central is won! Do you believe that play? The St. Louis Cardinals on a spectacular catch by Scott Rowland have won the 2002 National League Central Division title. Well, a season of so much anguish and tragedy and pain winds up with so much joy and exuberance and celebration. And Tony's just standing back and letting his guys celebrate amongst themselves. The 9th time a Tony La Russa managed club has finished first in his career. And the jersey of Darryl Kyle joining the celebration. Well, that's a poignant sight if ever I've seen one on a baseball diamond.
You know that in one eye it's glowing with excitement, and the other eye, for each one of these St. Louis Cardinals, there's a tear.
But a whole lot of hugs. And another cheer for Darryl Kyle as Albert Pujols held up the jersey with his number 57 on it. What a magical way to end it. Scott Rowland, who didn't even want to do an interview with Rick Sutcliffe before the game because he said they were in first place when I was acquired in the trade. I wanted to be their moment. And yet he grabbed some of it forever for himself with that unbelievable play at third base.
Well, tonight's ball game started with an unbelievable play by him. Kind of fitting it would end that way.
Scott Rowland leaving Philadelphia. He's a champion in St. Louis. So's Chuck Finley. And so once again is Tony La Russa. Final score tonight, 9-3. St. Louis, they are the Central Division champs. We'll be back with more from St. Louis during SportsCenter, which is coming up next. For Rick Sutcliffe and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave O'Brien. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
This is SportsCenter.
That is absolutely unbelievable. Chaos at Comiskey. Could this have been prevented? A long, tragic ride for St. Louis ends in glory. The Yanks 2 away from celebrating. Derek Lowe tries to put the champagne on ice. Saturday's a must-win for the Gators. Leftwich makes his Heisman case again. Did Tiger take another step towards a cool million? 0-2, that's okay for now. But 0-3, an entirely different story. Keeping our undefeated streak alive. SportsCenter now.
being there along with Kevin Frazier. I'm Linda Cohn. Welcome to Sports Center, where we wish it was only about sports.
Yeah, it is the image that has America talking and the sports world shaking its head. By now, you have, in all likelihood, seen the cowardly attack on Royals first base coach Tom Gamboa from last night's Royals-White Sox game. Let's check out the scene at Comiskey tonight as fans arrive for tonight's White Sox-Twins game 1 day after. The usual bag checking by security as Dan Wright warms up police officers have a presence in the dugout. The only real change is security guard placed at the first base side, just in case someone might try to scale the fence. Again, meanwhile, according to a female relative, 34-year-old William Legee called her during the 7th inning and told her to watch the game. When she couldn't find the correct channel, he said, well, then just watch the news. Legee, who and his 15-year-old son remain in custody this evening. The Leguis claimed that Tom Gamboa made an obscene gesture towards them, an allegation that the first base coach has denied. The elder Legui, who attended the game with his 2 sons and several of their cousins, has a criminal record that includes burglary and domestic battery convictions. He will appear in court Saturday and faces charges of felony aggravated battery. Meanwhile, his son, who was initially released to his mother's custody, now is at a juvenile facility in charge with 2 juvenile counts of aggravated battery. More on this very, very bizarre story later in SportsCenter.
Now to happier news and the game you just saw on our air. The St. Louis Cardinals clinching their 3rd straight postseason appearance. We're going to send you right back out to Busch Stadium and bring in Dave O'Brien and Rick Sutcliffe. Guys?
Well, thank you very much. And nobody wants to leave here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. They're just starting to get the celebration going. It'll be throughout the weekend until the end of the regular season. And then the Cardinals are on to the playoffs. They win the Central Division tonight. And Steve Klein had a lot to say about it after a terrific season for himself, and he had the honor of closing it out on the Hill. Steve, this is not a routine clinching, though, with the season that the Cardinals had. Can you put into words what it means tonight?
Oh, this has been probably the most up-and-down season I think everybody in our clubhouse has had. It's amazing we got through this season. I mean, we had so much tragedy and so much, and then we have so much excitement. But this is a team that, we're destined right now to go and keep playing. Our team has really just gelled together now ever since the Darryl incident and the Jack Buck incident. We're just getting better and better, and it's great to see these hitters come out and hit.
Hey, Steve, Tony grabbed you, gave you a big hug. How much did it mean to you that you were the guy he wanted to get that last out tonight?
Well, I mean, that's usually Jason's job. I mean, Izzy's going to be out there for us most of all. He has a little banged-up arm right now. We're trying to give him a break. So, Skip's been throwing a lot of confidence in me and throwing me back out there. And, I mean, all you can do is answer. And, I try to do my best for him because he comes out and sparks me up a little bit.
2 words. What has Scott Rowland meant to this ball club?
I'll tell you what. He is the quietest guy. I don't know how people in Philadelphia boo this guy. This guy doesn't say one word in the clubhouse, but yeah, just goes out in the field and plays hard every day. You're a classic professional right there. I mean, he's an old-timer, just classic professional.
Steve, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, guys.
Filthy cap of yours, part of some Cardinal history tonight.
Oh, it's awesome.
Right now, let's send it back down to the field. Peter Pasquarelli standing by with the winning manager, Tony La Russa. Peter?
Tony, the season you've had, you've been part of these things before, but this one has to be different than any other.
Well, that's a word. I mean, there is no bad win, and anybody that gets to pop champagne enjoys it for different reasons. But this one, with the personal things that our club had to go through, I mean, I love and admire these guys so much. I had to reach so deep that it is different than anyone that I think a lot of people experience.
It says a lot, I think, about the club that down the stretch here over the last 2-3 weeks, you've maybe played your best ball of the season.
Well, we got a really good club, and a lot of guys started making things happen. Once we smelled it, we really got relentless, which is a real good quality for a team.
Albert Pujols, a lot of people talking about him in MVP terms, but this is a club that really, its strength is in its depth.
Well, I mean, we take our position players with anybody. I mean, we got something of everything. We've got a really good bullpen, and all year long our rotation's been beat up, and people keep stepping up and be heroes, whether it's Andy or Jason to go along with Matt. I mean, this is so typical. Even a great day, we had a little black cloud with Woody, so you can't 100% enjoy it, but we did it.
Is there anything to update on Woody other than what was announced previously? There's really you have to wait a few days to see how it reacts.
I could just see how down he was, but I don't know how bad it is.
Okay, Tony La Russa back up to Dave and Sutton the booth.
Peter, Tony, thank you very much. And it's pretty obvious that he was barely containing himself there emotionally, which is very understandable. A win tonight for Tony La Russa, no normal win. It clinches the Central Division title. Let's go back to the studio.